Hey y'all, I'm back and I have more creepy stories that I'm super excited to read because I've had this article saved for weeks now. This says 24 super creepy places in the US you've probably never heard of, and I have to know everything. Number 1, Crybaby Lane in Raleigh, North Carolina. I'm probably gonna say half of this shit wrong. In college, we used to go to Crybaby Lane. It's a deserted alley and field where an orphanage used to be. One night in the early 1900s, it burned down, killing all of the children who lived inside. If you go there now, you can still smell the burning building. The longer you stay, the more likely you are to hear wailing children. One of my friends who went felt like they were choking on smoke when they walked onto the property. Well, I'm never going there. I thought maybe I could find a cute little place to go, like a haunted place. That's not gonna be one of them. And this one I've actually heard of. Number 2, White Rock Lake. I've done a Ouija board here. There are stories about a woman walking around the lake at night, all wet, asking for a ride. Once they're near her home, she disappears, leaving behind a wet spot. When someone approaches the house and asks about the woman, they're greeted by her parents saying that their daughter died in a car accident and drowned in the lake. I've heard about that because I did a Ouija board there and it went terribly wrong. It's actually probably one of the scariest experiences of my life, but it's fine, we're gonna move on. Number 3, the Phantom Firehouse near Portland, Maine. There's this house in a town outside of Portland that's extremely spooky. Many years ago, a family moved in, and on their first night, they woke up to the house on fire. They jumped out a window with as many boxes as they could grab, but when they turned around, there was no fire. The house was dark. But I really don't like that, because would that happen every night? What did they do, just go back inside like nothing happened? Sunny Acres in San Luis Obispo, California. It's a red brick building on a nearby hill, said to have been an orphanage and home for troubled youth. Some stories say that kids were kept in cages, while others claim that a fire ripped through the building, killing most of the inhabitants. When I was growing up, this was a spot for teenagers to sneak into at night and a favorite of mine to go ghost hunting in. Our experiences included a bright light flashing, sounds of footsteps around us, and a voice I recorded saying, "Help me!" No, help me! The house on Broadway Street in Amherst, New Hampshire. There's a house by Babuzik Lake in Amherst that my family and I rented for a family party. The second night there, my husband and I saw a child next to our bed. As he reached for the child, it disappeared under the bed. The next night, I had the baby monitor on and heard cooing, so I checked on our kids. Both were sleeping soundly. No, just I don't even want to read this one. Ed Gein's house in Plainfield, Wisconsin. I grew up about an hour away from where Ed Gein lived and worked. He was known for killing multiple people and using their skin for his projects. Is it Gein? He upholstered chairs and lamps with it and made sausages out of his victims to gift to unknowing neighbors. Eventually, he was caught, arrested, and stuck in a mental institution until his death. They cleared the house out to put it up for auction, but it burned to the ground the night before in a mysterious fire that most assumed to be arson. No, I would also burn the house down. If I was an arsonist, that would be my first target. The Eloise Mental Asylum in Westland, Michigan. It was one of the biggest insane asylums, if not the biggest in the country at one point. It's abandoned now and allegedly haunted. I get an eerie feeling every time I drive by it. See, that's something I would go to. They don't have a creepy experience there, so I can go there and experience it for myself without any thoughts in my head prior to what's gonna happen. Does that make sense? Number 8, Chessman Park and Botanic Gardens in Denver. The park used to be a very large graveyard, but the city decided to develop on the land in 1893. Workers were paid $1.90 for each corpse they could dig up and cram into a small box for relocation. There were large protests when the public found out, so the project was halted. 10 years later, the city simply plowed over the remaining bodies. That's actually insane. Today, nearby residents often report seeing the ghosts of these souls in their mirrors. No, because I'd be pissed too. If my body was there and you just plowed over it to put a botanical garden, die! You die! Take my place. The Breakers in Palm Beach, Florida. It's a gorgeous, terrifying hotel that's said to be full of spirits. I worked there during summer breaks, and several employees reported seeing shadows, having doors closed mysteriously, ovens turning on and off overnight, and silverware from tables set for breakfast being tossed around. I'm a native Palm Beacher, so I did my homework about the place while growing up. Many of the stories about people getting trapped in a fire and employees being robbed and murdered do check out. Though I would never stay there, ever. Rockadundy Road in Hamden, Massachusetts. Again, I'm probably saying most of this wrong. Legend says that in the 70s, multiple teenagers committed by hanging themselves here. There's even a haunted gazebo at the end that acts as a memorial for a little boy who was dropped off by a local school bus, then hit and killed by it. They say if you go and stand in the gazebo at night, you can hear him crying. Oh my god, that's actually the most heartbreaking thing I've ever read. The Winchester Mystery House in San Jose, California. The story is that the Winchester widow believed the spirits of those who died because of the Winchester rifle, the company she was heiress to after her husband's passing, would haunt her unless she could build a house so confusing that they couldn't find her. I actually think I've heard of this. Under the direction of her psychic, she built up rooms upon rooms, staircases that led to nowhere, and secret passageways in an attempt to hide from the avenging spirits. It's supposedly still haunted by the confused spirits today. And I would also be confused, and I would probably give up. White Cemetery in Barrington, Illinois. The cemetery dates back to the 1820s and was a popular getaway and hideaway destination during the Chicago gangster era. People have reported seeing glowing orbs, faint figures, an antique black car, and even a house that doesn't exist around the cemetery. The house did exist at one point, but burned down 40 plus years ago. A spirit house? A whole ghost house? 13. The Cactus Hotel in San Angelo, Texas. The Cactus Hotel has a spirit that, if you see it, will get down on all fours and charge at you, then disappear. That one's short, and it was perfect. I didn't need it to be any longer. Sloss Furnaces in Birmingham, Alabama. In the 1900s, there was a foreman named James Slag Wormwood, who often made his workers do dangerous things to keep the furnace fed. This led to loads of accidents, deaths, and even an explosion that left 6 workers blind. In 1906, Wormwood himself lost his footing on the highest furnace, fell in, melting to death. I've been several times. It's free, and I've attended several concerts and a wedding there. There are definitely creepy spots that are restricted, and many cold spots. I often feel like I'm being watched. There is no way in hell that they have concerts and weddings there. That's insane. The Waverly Hill Sanatorium in Louisville, Kentucky. Louisville? I don't know. I think it's Louisville, because I lived in Louisville, Texas, so I think it's Louisville. Louisville? It was a tuberculosis hospital in the early 1900s where thousands died during their treatments. There's even an underground tunnel that was used to transport the bodies out. People report a lot of paranormal activity throughout the hospital and grounds. Currently, you can tour the building or book reservations to spend the night. The police are coming. I don't know if you can hear that. No, like, we get it. No, we get it. I can't wait to move out of this place. I can't wait. 16. Lydia's Bridge in Jamestown, North Carolina. Lydia's Bridge has your standard woman in white story, but I have a coworker who actually experienced it. He was in the backseat of his grandmother's car when she stopped to pick up a young lady in white. It was raining outside and she was waiting on the side of the road. While they were driving to where the woman told them to go, she suddenly disappeared. My coworker said the seat was still wet. Mercy Brown's grave in Exeter, Rhode Island. There's an old church graveyard in Exeter, and in it lies the grave of Mercy Brown, the last person in the US to be accused, I don't know what the fuck that word is, of being a vampire. It says posthumous, I don't know. Sorry, that was really loud. The Haunted Mill in Murrieta, California. I know someone who lives there. There's an old grain mill next to the train tracks, but no trains run on it anymore. People say it's haunted. Many have seen a ghost girl in a blue dress roaming around the elevator or heard a train horn early in the morning. My gym class was on our way to a golf range near the mill when we all heard a loud train horn. It was quick and stopped everyone in their tracks. There hadn't been a train in our town in decades. I think there's 5-ish more, so we're on 19, the Baker Hotel in Mineral Wells, Texas. The hotel had numerous and crazy deaths, including a boy who was chopped in half by an elevator. My grandmother, who worked as a cigar girl when she was 12, claimed the basement was terrifying. The baths were down there, and women who worked at the hotel bathed guests with the town's mineral water to cure and purify them. It's supposedly very haunted, and Ghost Adventures even did an episode on it. She was 12? She was 12 working at the town of Centralia, Pennsylvania. It's an old coal mining town that has been burning beneath the surface since around 1962. Super interesting, but super creepy to actually visit. Thanks for like nothing. Thanks for absolutely no information. The Village of the Damned in Cornwall, Connecticut. Dudleytown is also known as the Village of the Damned. By the 1800s, all of its occupants had literally disappeared without a trace. It's supposedly cursed by Henry the, seventh, I don't know Roman numerals very well, because Edmund Dudley, the town's founder, was a traitor to the crown. Stories say that many residents went insane and or committed, with some claiming to have seen demons before doing so. Today, people say it's eerily quiet at night. Not even wildlife makes a sound. I don't know why I just said that like that. Not even wildlife that was like the most storyteller voice ever. Others have put out warnings not to take anything you find because the curse will follow you out. So what, you'll just disappear without a Rumble? Please. Rumble's been screaming this whole video and I don't know what he's talking about. Norwich State Hospital in Preston, Connecticut. I feel like we've had a lot of Connecticut. Maybe like 2, but I feel like we've had a lot. In the early 1900s, it was a hospital for the mentally ill and criminally insane where patients were said to have been abused and tortured. Rumble. Now, people claim to see the spirits of children running around. Some even report hearing screams, footsteps running down the halls, and doors mysteriously slamming. The Queen Mary in Long Beach, California. I think this is about a boat. I stayed on board the ship once, and throughout the entire night, the bathroom light kept turning on. I'd get up periodically to turn it back off, only for it to turn on again. I took pictures on the haunted tour and noticed orbs throughout every single picture in the pool area and nearby bathrooms. At no other point did those orbs appear. Yeah, I've heard of that like a million times. And I believe this is the last one, the Sheridan Inn in Sheridan, Wyoming. In Sheridan, we have the Sheridan Inn, where Buffalo Bill used to vacation. It's haunted by a woman named Miss Kate who used to work there, though some even claim that Bill himself makes the occasional appearance. We went on a field trip there for history class once, and I swear I saw one of the old rocking chairs moving back and forth in the corner of Miss Kate's old room. I would actually like to go there. She doesn't seem scary, so I would visit. That is all I have for now. I hope you guys enjoyed. I really liked those. I love learning about haunted places that I've never heard of before because I do feel like I know a lot. If you have any creepy stories that you want to share with me or the community, or if you've ever been to any of these places, please let us know. I will have my subreddit link down below. I'm gonna go. I love you guys. I will see you in the next one. Bye. Nara's like right here, so that was difficult to say bye because I felt like I was gonna run into the little man. I don't know if I have anything to ramble about because I just filmed yesterday, so nothing has happened. I told you guys about my new apartment, and then I told you guys about the stroller. I don't think there's anything else, I'm gonna be so honest. And I told you my friend's coming into town, which is why I filmed 2 days in a row. I normally like wait a day or 2 in between filming, just to like, you know, get something to ramble about, because rambling is probably my favorite part of my videos. Just saying. Obviously I love the scary stuff, but I like to just chit chat a lot of the time. But I had to film yesterday and today so that when she gets here I don't have to film at all. I'll have to film next week because she's here for 2 weeks. I told you guys this in my last video. I'm repeating myself. I just want to talk. I'm like Pippi Longstockings. I need to wash my hair. So I'm gonna go. My little nana. My little nana. Nara, say hi to the camera. Meow. Nana. It's a nana. I love this little man so much. Sorry, he hates being held, but I like to hold him. Say hi. Say hi to the camera. He's camera shy right now. It's fine. All right, I'm gonna go. See ya.